الصلاة وما ملكت أيمانكم التي نص الله عليها من بين سائر الصلوات، فقال حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى.
حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين.
الصلاة روضة من رياض الإيمان والعلم، لأنها روضة، والله روضة لمن أحيا الله قلبه.
أدي الصلاة كما أمر الله في أوقاتها في المساجد مع إخوانك في بيوت الله.
على الصلاة
في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه يسبح له فيها بالغدو والآصال.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear Muslim brother and sister, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We were commanded by our Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam to pray in the exact manner in which he prayed, as he directed us to do in the hadith narrated by Al-Bukhari, which means, "Pray as you have seen me pray." Many Muslims are unaware of the true description of the prayer of the Prophet ﷺ. This production was composed so you can hear and see for yourself the full and true description of the Prophet's prayer, and then adhere to his practice. To commence the prayer, stand up after having fulfilled all its preconditions, which are facing the direction of Kaaba, known as Al-Qibla, covering parts of the body which are mandatory to cover, known as Al-Awra, being in the state of ritual purity, being fully attentive in your heart and mind of the particular prayer which you intend to perform without uttering the intention. You should pray behind an object as high as a handspan, or directly behind a wall, a pillar, or any other similar object, as this was the proven practice of the Prophet ﷺ. This object is known as sutra. To start the prayer, you must say Allahu Akbar, which means Allah is the greatest. This phrase is known as Takbiratul Ihram. There is no other phrase which can replace this takbirah. This takbirah must be said while standing, because the Prophet ﷺ said what means, say the takbir while standing. If you are unable to pray while standing due to illness, for example, then you should do your best to pray in any other position which is physically possible. In any case, however, you must certainly say the takbirah. During this takbirah, do not excessively extend the vowel, which is the A in the middle of the word Allah. The Imam leading a congregational prayer shall raise his voice while saying this takbirah, so those behind him can hear it. If you are praying alone or behind an Imam, you need not say this takbirah loudly. However, you must move your tongue with the phrase as authentically reported. Raise your hands while saying the initial takbirah. It has been authentically reported in the Sunnah that you may raise your hands just before, during, or just after saying this takbirah. While raising your hands, keep them spread open without cupping. Your fingers shall not be closed tight nor widely spread apart. Your fingers shall reach the level of your shoulders. This is one of the two authentic forms of raising one's hands. The other is for the fingers to reach the earlobes. You may choose either of these two forms. Raising the hands apply to both men and women. If you are unable to raise one of your hands due to a certain ailment, you should still raise the other one in order to apply as much of the Sunnah as possible. Where should you place your hands after this takbirah? You should place them on your chest with the right hand over the left one. There are two forms of putting the right hand over the left one. The first is to place the right hand flat over the left hand, wrist, and arm. The second is to grab the left hand with the right hand. If you alternate between these two forms, your practice would then perfectly concur with the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Place your hands on your chest and not on your navel, nor below it, nor above the chest. Some scholars state that you should place them between your breasts. It is not permitted to place the hands on the waist during prayer, which contradicts appropriate submissiveness to Allah. You shall always gaze at the floor in humility during prayer, lowering your head and looking to the place of your prostration, except when you are reciting at-tashahhud, in which case you should keep your gaze at your index finger while moving it. This will be further explained in the presentation. Dear Muslim, placing your hands on the chest and lowering your head while looking at the place of prostration reflects submissiveness before Allah the Almighty. It is also a reflection of good manners before one's Lord. You must keenly maintain this during your prayer, and remember that Allah turns His face towards the face of His slave during the prayer for as long as he does not gaze away. You must struggle to keep shaitan from distracting you during prayer. If the whispers of shaitan become too powerful, it is permitted for you to seek refuge in Allah and lightly spit 3 times to your left without emitting any spittle. Immediately after this takbirah, initiate your prayer by reciting one of the great opening supplications known as Du'a ul-Istiftah. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ asked him about what he says when he briefly pauses in silence after the initial takbirah. So he taught them the opening supplications of the prayer. There are various supplications you can say at the start of the prayer. It is best to alternate between them in different prayers. Among the known opening supplications is saying, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك, which means, glory and praise is due to you, O Allah. Blessed is your name, lofty is your greatness, and there is no deity worthy of worship except you. Another opening supplication is, اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب اللهم نقني من خطاياي كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس اللهم اغسلني من خطاياي بالماء والثلج والبرد, which means, O Allah, distance me from my sins as you have distanced the east from the west. O Allah, cleanse me from my sins as a white garment is cleansed from filth. O Allah, wash my sins away with water, snow, and hail. There are other opening supplications which were reported to have been said by the Prophet ﷺ, especially during the optional night prayers, Qiyamul Layl. For more information about these supplications and other details, you can refer to books written by scholars. A good example of such books is the one written by the great scholar Al-Albani, rahimahullah, which is titled, The Prophet's Prayer Described from Beginning to End as Though You See It.